in state parks, told to pack up their things and go home. State parks closed for business, and it's happening in Minnesota. That's not the only place. ABC's David Wright tonight on the parks and the families being sent home.
The great champion of America's parks, conservationist John Muir, said between every two trees is the doorway to a new world. But today in Minnesota, the last campers in state parks were kicked out, so they won't be trapped in when rangers put the padlocks on. Due to a state government shutdown, all 74 of the state's parks and recreation areas are closed. The Hanson family had planned to spend the 4th of July weekend enjoying the great outdoors.
It is pretty discouraging that the only reason we're not camping at a beautiful state campground is because the state couldn't do their part to keep the campgrounds open.
Minnesota isn't alone. In Washington state, starting today, park visitors for the first time will need to pay a $10 entry fee or risk a $100 fine. In California this week, lawmakers passed a state budget that will force dozens of state parks to close indefinitely.
Yeah, 70 parks out of the 278 that are currently active and open.
That's 1 out of 4.
It is. First time in 100 years that California parks have really closed.
Parks are expensive, and cash-strapped state governments say they can no longer afford to maintain open spaces that took decades, even centuries, to protect.
The crisis in funding for our nation's state parks is real, and it's happening right now.
Ironically, this happening at a time when the attendance rate is up. 740 million visitors to state parks last year. But David, before you head out to the great outdoors this weekend, best make sure that the place is actually going to be open. This park's one of the ones on California's closure list.
Oh, one of the parks right there. David Wright tonight, thanks to you. We turn overseas.
Stop recording video.